Tensions with China simmering again. China announces it sent more than 70 warplanes and 7 ships towards Taiwan, all in a 24-hour span. Taiwan says it was able to see the activity on its missile systems as well as on its Navy vessels. This comes after Joe Biden signed a defense spending bill claiming China was a strategic challenge. For more on this, let's bring in the Executive Director of Iranian Americans for Liberty, former Pennsylvania congressional candidate, Newsmax contributor, Bryan Leib. Bryan, how should the Biden administration react to the latest tensions coming from China to Taiwan?
John, it's good to be with you, and Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and Merry Christmas to the entire Newsmax audience. It's very clear. When we're dealing with our adversaries around the world, such as China, Iran, Russia, and all the other bad actors in the world, President Biden needs to project strength onto the world. And when he doesn't project strength onto the world, coupled with the fact that there really is no actual foreign policy agenda from the Biden administration, John, we shouldn't be surprised that bad actors like Beijing, Moscow, and Tehran are going to take advantage and are going to push our buttons and push us to see how far they can go. And that's exactly what's happening right now with China. But to get back to your question, it's very simple. We need to start projecting some strength onto the world, and that goes with China, Iran, Russia, all the bad actors in the world. It's time for America to reclaim our seat at the our seat on the world stage and start projecting some strength.
So turning to Israel, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced he was able to form a new coalition government. This comes after the country's gone through multiple elections and leaders failing to form coalition governments. How will this affect Iran, and will this embolden them to ramp up their nuclear programs?
Well, Iran has been ramping up their nuclear program for the last 24 months under the current administration here in D.C. And they're going to continue doing that, John. I mean, make no mistake, whether it's no matter who's in office anywhere around the world, the Iranian regime is going to do whatever they can to get a nuclear weapon, and they're going to use that nuclear weapon to take out Israel, take out other Arab allies, and then eventually start taking out U.S. Army bases around the world. With regards to Benjamin Netanyahu, he and his coalition government are going to be sworn into office here in a couple days. And Bibi Netanyahu campaigned very strongly on being a very strong and unwavering deterrent when it comes to Iran getting a nuclear bomb. And it is under Bibi Netanyahu's leadership that Israel has done quite a bit of clandestine operations inside of Iran. So I expect Bibi Netanyahu to come out of the gate here pretty strong to do something. And I never in a million years, John, thought that I would say to you and to the Newsmax audience that I think it would be Israel that would be leading an attack against Iran. But I think that might be the case this time around.
Wow. And finally, Bryan, Iran is also reportedly ramping up weapons shipments to Russia to fight Ukraine. And now officials in Israel claim Iran is trying to mislead the world about it. How do you see a potential alliance of Iran, Russia, and possibly even China playing out?
Well, I hate to say this, but it's not just a potential alliance anymore. I mean, make no mistake. I mean, there is a new alliance, there is a new axis of power, I should say axis of evil now on the world stage, and that is Russia, Iran, and China. Iran is a very rich country, with wealth and history, but one thing that they have really never seen over the last 10 to 20 years is outside investment from other countries. Now, last summer, China agreed to invest over $400 billion into Iran. Russia has done a similar package to that as well. So I think you have this outside investment coming from these two other countries into Iran, coupled with the fact that Iran has grown exponentially stronger under the Biden administration. In January of last year, John, they had $4 billion in international reserves. And because the Biden administration decided not to enforce sanctions, they're now up to $45 billion. So, a terrorist is always going to be a terrorist, and that's exactly what the regime in Tehran is. And of course, now they're supported by two very powerful countries in Russia and China.
Yeah, pretty scary. I remember back in the day there was a little different axis of evil, but now Iran's getting in on it too. Tensions seem to be high everywhere, and to me there's no doubt that it's all kind of festered more and more because they see weakness from our president here, and people think they can saber rattle, and even worse because they know he's not going to do anything about it, Brian.
That's exactly correct. You know, world powers, when they see a weakness, they're going to exploit that weakness. And, you know, say what you want about President Trump, but one thing he was very good at is that he understood that he had to project strength onto the world. And peace was achieved not through weakness. Peace was achieved through strength. And a very quick example of that is when President Trump made that bold and courageous decision to take out the world's leading terrorist, Qasem Soleimani, who was the general commander of the IRGC. He took him out with a drone attack. The world thought World War III was coming. The Ilhan Omars of the world and Rashida Tlaib said World War III was coming. You know what? World War III didn't come. And you want to know why that wasn't the case, John? Because America projected strength onto the world, and Iran didn't know what we were going to do next. It's that simple.
No doubt about it. And all the mullahs ran back in their caves when they saw that, because they said, this guy's a madman. He can get us anytime, anywhere. Bryan Leib, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.